This is my favourite museum in the whole world. Look at this architecture. Look at that fantastic ceiling. This bit is called the Great Court, and it was only put up about 8 years ago. Incredibly controversial when it was first built. Don't know why, I think it's brilliant. And look at these stairs. It's like a theatre, isn't it? You know when you go up them that you're going to see something really special. Oh, in case you didn't realise, we're in the British Museum in Bloomsbury in London. I love this display. This is the sort of glass case that you can imagine most people who come to the museum would just walk past, glance down at, go, oh, a load of dog biscuits, not very interested in that, and then wander off. But these aren't dog biscuits, of course. These are some of the earliest examples of writing ever found in Britain, although, ironically, it's not writing written by Britons, but by the Roman invaders. All this stuff was found in the fort of Vindolanda on Hadrian's Wall in really soggy conditions, so an awful lot of the writing has been beautifully preserved. Can you see how vivid all this writing is? This is a nice one. This is one of the first examples of a woman's writing. Right at the end of this letter, after the scribe has done most of the rest of the writing, she says, "On the 11th of September, sister, for the day of the celebration of my birthday, I give you a warm invitation to make sure that you come to us." Isn't that nice? Mind you, it's much nicer than this one, which is from a bloke who'd been beaten up by the Roman troops. He says, "I implore your mercifulness not to allow me, a man from overseas, and an innocent one, to have been blooded by rods as if I'd committed some crime." I mean, this is human history. This is the sort of thing that museums are really for. Here's something I bet you didn't expect to see in one of our leading museums. There is the body of a mermaid, or a merman, although actually it isn't either. The top half is the skeleton of a monkey, and it's fixed into something that appears to be wood. And a lot of these used to tour around to fancy society about 200 years ago, called mermaids, and people would look at them and be aghast and be full of awe, although quite frankly I bet most of them didn't really believe what they were seeing. But that's one of the things I like so much about museums. You don't just see the big serious stuff. There's stuffed fish and stuffed birds and frauds and things like that mermaid that make you just go, ugh. This is one of the things that the British Museum does so well, displaying really huge finds in a dramatic setting. These are the gates of an Assyrian city in what's now northern Iraq from round about 700 BC. But the reason that they intrigue me so much is not really all this grandeur, it's this. Can you see that down here there are a load of scratches done with a knife? They were probably done, we think, by some bored guard, and what he scratched is this. It's a board game, one of the earliest board games we know, called the Royal Game of Ur. Somehow reassuring, isn't it, to know that 3,000 years ago there were bored guards defacing public property during office hours. I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I hated museums. They were absolute torture. But now I come here not just for research, but to learn, to be made to think, to be entertained, to laugh, just to go, oh, wow, that's really impressive. And I tell you what, if ever we find anything on Time Team that merits inclusion in one of those cases in the British Museum, that'll be my proudest day ever.